go ahead and call this meeting to order. Let's please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Apparently, be no invocation tonight unless George wants to. All right, call to order, pledge of allegiance. First thing be roll call. Alderman Smith is on his way. Lori Quinn.
Here.
Mike Schneider.
Here.
Adrian Saunders, absent. Robin Simpson.
Present.
Jason Osborne.
Here.
We have a quorum. Let's proceed. First thing on the agenda will be review and approval of the minutes of the February 6th meeting of the Board of Aldermen, found under tab 4.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the amendments of February 6th, 2025 meeting. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next thing on the agenda is the mayor's report. My report will be fairly short. It's about the library proposal. What I am going to ask this board to approve tonight for all practical purposes, it may be just a little different than this. We have to have a discussion about them having their own insurance. Megan, if you want to come up here, you can, because this definitely involves you guys. I'm going to make it short and sweet. The library performs a beneficial service for all the citizens of the city of Monroe City. With that under consideration, I am proposing to this board and asking for your permission to allow the library to continue to operate in its current location, rent-free. They will pay 1/3 of the total utility bill for the city hall of utility bill, and then if at some point in time our current library was to merge with some other entity, we would automatically revisit this agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion second on the floor to allow the library to continue in its current location. No rent. They will pay 1/3 of the utility bill as they have done for many, many years. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Megan, you have anything to add to that?
No, thank you. Thank you. You took a huge load off of our shoulders. Thank you.
We want you to be successful. I encourage you all to continue doing what you're doing. It's a valuable service. I know our kids love it. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right. Do I have anything else to report that you can think of that I need to address that I haven't addressed? All right, moving right along. City Clerk's report.
I don't have too much either. We do have another follow-up demonstration from BSNA tomorrow at 3 o'clock. If you all would like to attend and kind of see what it's about, you're more than welcome. I did provide everyone an actual printed out budget. Now, this is not finalized. Last Thursday, when I was inputting these, I ran into a little snag and I put a ticket in with G-Works, and I've yet to get a call back last Thursday. So this is pretty close, but there's still some things that have to be adjusted, but I've got to wait to get a call back from them before I can go any further.
Are the departments going to get a copy of their monthly?
They will. I was telling Rodney, tomorrow morning we're having like a department meeting. I will provide one to each department then, and I'll let them know the same thing. You know, that it's, this is as good as I got right now, but as soon as it is accurate with all line items, I'll give you one of those as well.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yet another reason we need to get rid of G-Works.
I can't think of any more reasons. We've got so many.
There are.
Yeah, they're just handing them over left and right.
And that's all I have.
That was quick. Next on. Hey, Greg, awesome.
Yeah, made it.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you made it safely.
It was,
parking spot?
there was one I usually park in. I figured somebody left it for me. I had to learn something on your way.
Alderman Smith.
You're special.
There you go.
All right. Next on the agenda, the city attorney's report.
Not much to report. I have, Greg and I have talked, there may be some proposals coming for changing some of our zoning ordinances. But there'll be more discussion on that to come. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else to report.
Is just a question, not relative to what you just reported. Chief James had a discussion with us here a few weeks ago about an activity that he was going to pursue. And again, this is not my area of expertise. It sounded like we need to add some ordinances that would cover some of the more common issues they deal with. I'm not sure what to call them.
Like the distracted driving, the new distracted driving law, I think, was one of them.
Okay.
Car seats.
Is that something you all have been discussing in your public safety meeting?
If we have one.
Well, I would suggest you go ahead and take the lead and get one scheduled.
Okay.
If you would, please, I really appreciate it.
Okay, this last time.
It sounded like it was pretty important to the chief. And
Chief, do
so-
you have a list of those?
We've got one. We've got one started. It's not complete this time, but.
Okay.
But you have enough they could actually get started on the process with what you.
We've got a list, and it comes down to what the state statutes are. So it would just be at that point getting
Okay.
The ordinance numbers and stuff like that attached to them.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you, Chief. All right, I'm unaware of any. Do we have any authorized guest speakers? I'm unaware of any. Okay, moving right along. New business.
Is there a winner? No.
Oh,
No winner.
no winner.
That's good.
I knew I didn't want to buy a ticket tonight. I just knew it.
Your ticket might have been the winner.
There's not a big winner.
Oh, dang. Oh. All right. New business. Moving right along. Council committee reports, planning and zoning. There is a meeting scheduled for the 6th.
Yes, it's right before our next council meeting.
I know you just turned it off.
On purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I yell when I talk, so I'm not sure I need one. Do I need it? Okay, I'll turn it back on. That's a new one.
We're going to be discussing rezoning basically the old Holy Rosary School area from C1 to an R2.
I think it's R2.
Basically, there's some people interested in building some multifamily living there, and so that'll be a discussion. And then also, as I've talked to John a little bit about, we're talking about clarifying, I would say, our zoning laws. Right now, we currently residential is not explicitly allowed in C1, but we have a lot of residential in C1 in the city, and the most similar zoning laws I can find are Palmyra's, and they do explicitly allow residential in C1 with some caveats. So I was basically thinking about that we should probably clarify that issue.
Just clean it up a little bit.
Clean it up. I mean, the examples that I have are, our C1 basically covers all of Main Street and all of the main Business 36 area. We have residences on Main Street. We have apartments above the businesses on Main Street. And we have, and then along Business 36, what used to be motels, which would have been in our C1, but at least one of those is essentially apartment buildings now, which there's some distinction there, and they're still currently C1. And then the apartments out by Casey's back behind there, that's a C1 area also according to our zoning maps and their apartments. So it seems like we've intended to have residential in C1, but it does not explicitly state that. And that's kind of the way our zoning laws are written, is that it's explicitly stated what's allowed, and then you have to get, variances or something for anything that's not explicitly stated. So
Sounds like a good
Good
plan.
idea. When's that meeting? I'm sorry.
the 6th of March at, I don't remember the time at the moment, but
5:30.
5:30. We're planning on doing it just right before the council
And there'll be
meeting.
a hearing at 6.
We may not have time to cover the entire rezoning of our clarification of the zoning laws, but we'll at least bring that up. But the main point for that meeting is going to be the rezoning for the property that was pulled over.
Good. I think that's awesome. I've been made aware of what their plans were, and I think it's very encouraging. Very encouraging. Anything else, Rick?
That's it for 2020.
Okay. Next thing we have is Parks and Recreation.
What are their set meeting dates? Do you know?
Second Tuesday, yeah.
Second Tuesday.
Second
of each
Tuesday
month?
at 7.
Okay, you got that? Okay, all right.
Well, we during the last meeting, Alex Ross attended his first meeting. I'm sorry, Casey Reynolds attended, and while she was there, she decided she would stay on the committee, which I thought was awesome. So we was able to fill another seat. Darren Kendrick is going to be like an advisory ad hoc member when he can be here to participate. He will, but his work takes him outside of city a lot. So it's been very difficult for him to attend the meetings, but had a really good meeting. Had a lot of discussion, in particular about St. Jude's. They also had some questions that were going to provide them the contracts that don't exist, but were supposed to be in existence with all of the contractors that provide mowing for the parks, the cemetery, and other areas. It was a really good meeting. It was a couple hours long. Covered a lot of bases. They wanted to see the inspection results from St. Jude's. They also wanted to get some actual inspections done of St. Jude's with the idea of understanding what is required to address what appear to be potentially serious issues with the foundation, and try to put together a plan to address those in the future. And if there's any grant stuff available, they would be looking at that as well. And I think, if I'm off base on this, I think we've seen a lot of encouraging information come from Tonya Pryor with GTMC. They're getting engaged with the St. Jude Church from a preservation standpoint, and there may be something available out there to help us with that cost. But there's a lot of open-ended sentences to make that happen. But I'm very, very encouraged by the activity on that committee. They're very much engaged, and I really like that.
Mayor, where are they with the grant for the park? Is there any movement on that? Do you know?
Say that again.
The grant for the park, for the new grant that they
For
got
North
at the
Park?
play.
Oh, the North Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be delivering stuff. Yeah, there's an update on that. I don't have the full update. I think Rodney, they're going to be delivering
April 23rd.
April 23rd. We got a place to store it. They're going to have an individual, they being the people that sold us all this and are doing the actual installation. There's a lot of work that we got to do. They're going to be contacting Rodney directly, and they'll be working through all of the nuts and bolts of what we're responsible for, and then working towards that. And the Parks and Recreation Committee is very, very actively engaged in that process as well, as is Mary Kendrick, who is our administrator for that project. So
I noticed some trees were down. Is that for that reason? Okay.
One, actually.
Was it just one?
There's one.
I
Brett,
thought-
Brett Seeger, yeah.
Okay,
And there's another one later.
gotcha.
That's all I've got for Parks and Recreation. Next, go ahead.
Well, never mind, it's on the agenda later, I see. I was gonna ask about the pool, stuff we were doing.
All right.
It's on the agenda later, so.
All right. Economic Development, nothing that I'm aware of. Anything from Administration Committee?
There's a meeting Monday at 5:30 for the administration committee.
5:30?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? All right, Nuisance Reboard Public Safety, Mike, you got anything on that?
I'd like to schedule, Chief, with this coming Tuesday, it's 6 work for you?
Is the building inspector be included in that?
Yes.
Okay. Have you just had one meeting? Has it just been one?
Yeah, and it was back last year, November. We tried to have one, but it didn't pan out.
Oh.
But that works for you?
That should be fine.
Okay, I'll get with the rest.
I-
That's for.
I have a question for our Emergency
Nuisance /
Preparedness Director. I have a question for our Emergency Preparedness Director. This is a crazy question maybe, but
Should be the 25th.
is there any, do you think that we should invite the Fire Protection District to have a participant in our Public Safety Committee? Would it serve a useful purpose?
I think it'd be, they wouldn't need to be there at every meeting, but I think it'd be worth reaching out to them. We're gonna be covering topics that, they'd
Would-
be involved with.
Would you consider, Mike, this is really to you, but of course I want the chief's input obviously. Would you encourage us to reach out to them and invite them and perhaps put them on the mailing list for whenever we have a public safety meeting, that tell them they're welcome to come and participate? Is that okay?
Yep, I'm fine with that, and probably worth to go ahead and reach out to EMS as well.
Great.
I can get you all the information for that.
My thinking about this subject really comes from my observation when I observed what happened during our last major electrical outage, and we thought that we were going to be down potentially for up to maybe 72 hours or possibly longer. And so I was in the way, but I did get to observe. Well, what am I going to do, right? Nothing for me to sign. So, no, I observed the ambulance district, fire protection district, the Monroe City Police Force, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, and I can't remember who else was there, and I don't mean to leave anybody out, but they worked together really, really well, in my opinion. I'm not Zach. He may have a different opinion, but what I saw, I thought was very encouraging. It really made me feel like these guys got this under control relative to what they were responsible for. And I don't know, it just gave me a kind of a sense of security. And I thought about how we might encourage continued participation with all of these entities with the city, and providing that the Public Safety Committee, the Board of Aldermen, and in particular our Emergency Preparedness Director, which is Chief James, was okay with it. So I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much. Moving right along, Public Works.
There's meeting minutes and with your packet.
Okay. I haven't read it. Okay. Anything else? We'll move on to department report.
Does Public Works have another meeting scheduled, do you know?
March 13th at 6:30.
March 13th.
Is there a shared calendar?
We're working on that.
You're working on that?
Yeah, that's why I was asking about the parks, what their normal schedule date is. So, yeah, we're working to get that out to you guys.
Phoebe's our unofficial calendar. All right, moving right along to department reports. First thing we've got going on is police department report.
Okay, got it real quickly. Here for training, this is something that's already approved through training budget. I just want to let y'all know we're aware of and go ahead and get the okay to go through with this. Myself and Officer Hutton, who is one of our firearms instructors and generalist instructors, are going to be attending a training for advanced operational tactics for law enforcement. So this is something to be applied to single officer response or multiple officer response. Just going to give us some additional tactics that we can use, going in and handling domestic situations, assaults, or anything we go into. So it is a 5-day course in Iowa.
Ooh.
The total at this point comes out to $2,787 as a total. However, we are working, that is at this point with 5 nights at a hotel. We're working with the group right now to try to get beds in the barracks, which sounds like that's a possibility, which will alleviate $448 out of that. And then, like I said, taking one of our instructors with us, so once we come back from this course, we'll be able to then offer it to the rest of the guys in the department.
How many people would that be, Filler? Just one or two?
No, that's for both of us. That's
For both
total
of you.
for both of us for the course, for all of the ammunition, and then also for the hotel stay. So hopefully we can get that hotel knocked out of there.
Yeah.
So I guess
What-
safety and compliance.
Can we take just a second to discuss this data that we've got in front of us relative to the budget? I don't understand what this balance means. I'm looking at your budget for training. I know what we budgeted, and I'm trying to understand what this means.
Okay,
What did you say?
Well, we had, yeah, it's on.
so,
It's on the back of the second page.
Page 4.
Definitely training expense.
Okay, total please, yeah.
okay, it's a negative 4348. When Nate Reynolds came on board with us, his $5,000 education bonus was paid from this fund. When his contract was bought out by Ashland, Missouri, it went back into this fund.
But it goes back into the general revenue
It
fund.
is in general revenue,
And
yes.
this doesn't reflect that. This line item doesn't reflect that.
Yes, it does.
It does.
The negative, that means they have
A credit.
the $12,348 left in their
Okay,
training
so
fund.
the original budget was 8, so we have a credit of 4,300.
So now we have 12.
So now, yeah, we have 12.
Okay.
It went back into our general fund cash.
Now,
But it
now.
came out of this training
It
budget,
came
so
out of here to
you.
begin
you
with.
kinda
Okay,
have that
so,
in here.
so you got
Yeah.
I'm gonna rephrase it in terms I understand, okay? So we got $12,348.
Yes,
Okay, so when Officer DuPont graduates from the academy,
yes,
she's then eligible for that sign-on bonus.
Correct.
Will that come out of here?
yes,
Okay, so basically what we're talking about, that 12,348 is gonna be reduced by 5, so that gets you down to 7,348. We're looking to spend, what, 3 something?
2.
Huh?
2,700.
27, okay, so.
Minus
you'll-
4 if he
You'll
gets
still
one.
have money available for if something else pops up. Okay, I just wanted to drive through that and understand it.
Makes sense.
Okay. So,
Just making sure council's okay with us going ahead and go forward with that one.
Do we need any,
We gotta do a
like,
motion.
oh, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that, we approve the Jeep and the trainer, training.
What is that, gun safety? Or gun?
can y'all get
It's
along
called
for a week?
tactical training, is that what you
It's,
called it?
it's mostly, It's mostly
response.
just different tactics that you can use to bring situations under control, use of force situations, things of that nature. It encompasses a whole lot.
What is the title of the training, I think is?
just looking
I would
for
just put advanced operational tactics.
Operational.
There you go.
Motion.
I'll second that.
We have a motion second on the floor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. There you go. Y'all can get along for a whole week?
Do what?
Can y'all get along for a whole week?
Yeah, we'll get it figured out. We got reserves there.
I'm sorry, I had to ask.
Enjoy the barracks.
Thanks,
Can you
Chief.
send me and provide me all of the information from our records, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
Can get to it.
All right. I see our representative from People Services is present, so I guess we can talk water.
I just want to let you know that the pump for Mosswood will be installed next week, the new pump we purchased.
Good.
It's actually stored down in Rodney's garage right now. It's been too cold. And, the electric department has agreed to help us sometime next week. We'll see what how everybody's schedule works out. Other than that, I really don't have anything. Robin, I know you always look very
I
closely
do, and look, it's
at it.
very close. It, like this last month, we were up almost
Yeah, it was like
2.5 million, and now
24%.
we're down, so it's gonna even out.
Yeah, the percentages, I think last month we were plus 30%, this month we're minus 24%, roughly. So that, you know, it comes out to where our lost water is under 10%.
And it's probably that monthly carryover that, yeah, you
Yeah,
told me about.
yeah, so, but if nobody
Can we
has
do
my-
wastewater while we're talking water? There's no separate one for sewer collection. How long ago was it? A month ago that we started working on treating the wastewater from a off-site facility?
Yeah, it's been close to a month, yes.
It's been close to a month. We brought in 5 loads from this outside entity. Is that correct? And run some tests to make sure it didn't create any additional issues for our facility's ability to process. We have, George, you're the expert. If I say that we have significantly greater capacity than we will probably ever use, would that be an understatement?
That would be an understatement, yes, sir.
Okay, so we have lots of capacity, and the city was approached through George, or through People Services, to ask if we would be interested in doing this. It's coming from I'm not sure what you would call that. What would you call it? It's not a manufacturer. What is it?
It's a food processing
Food processing facility in what
in
city?
Moberly.
Moberly.
In Moberly. And we could potentially be looking at some revenue for that department, for wastewater, that was unplanned and could greatly be used because it was, I do believe it was underwater on our budget, or very close to being underwater on our budget. Potentially somewhere, I'm gonna do a low side calculation. I'm gonna use 12. In 4 weeks. We're looking at $27,840 revenue a month. We'll probably be spending about $5,000 on additional chemicals. So net around, we'll probably net somewhere between $22,000 and $25,000 a month positive revenue.
How many
with
months?
no increase on labor.
There's no end in sight right now. As long as our plant can continue to process and we can stay in compliance, I am okay with it. I have limited them on, they bring it in 5,800 gallons at a time in a tanker truck. And when they drop it off, the load does hit the plant. The plant, you know, says, oh, what is this? And, but they did have 3 trucks come in back to back to back. That hurt us. It did, you know, we took a long time for us to, well, a long time as far as 4 or 5 hours to get things straightened back out. But they're now staggering the trucks. And I told them no more than 3 a day, and I am going to let them do 7 days a week. And each load, our the cities gets $580 per load.
And there's nothing in the waste that they're bringing that would put us out of compliance?
Yes, there is. What it is it's bacon fat. It's roughly 5% fat that's coming in. We're feeding a bacteria that's designed specifically to consume the fat, but our process is about 10 to 15 hours long. So from the time the water hits the wastewater plant, we can be discharging it in 15 hours. The bugs can't necessarily work that fast. So we're trying we're working with it, and we did just get back our first set of sampling, which we sampled after the initial 5 loads, and we were still, we have a limit of, I believe it's 15, and we were still below 5. So right now, it's everything is okay. We are spending extra time fishing off the fat, because whenever it comes in, it hits the surface, then it breaks into balls, and the bacteria is eating it. You can just watch the balls get smaller and smaller. But we're trying to remove as much as we can. But Danes isn't working with, so they haven't picked up our dumpster in 3 weeks. So the dumpster's full. So now whenever we pull the stuff out, we're running out of places to put
Do
it.
we need to call them?
Oh, I called them, and they said that, you guys changed the code on the gate. I said, no, it's been the same since we started. So they just don't come over there and even check it, because most of the time there wasn't a lot in it. And now that we're putting all this grease in there, nope, they'll be back Tuesday.
All right,
So-
and you have a check sheet for them to fill out, and you've installed security cameras so we can watch who comes and goes, so we don't miss a load.
Yeah, just in case. I mean, I trust that these guys have been all very trustworthy, but you just never know. If they're coming in when we're not there, a load could get missed, but we'll see every load coming in and when the truck leaves.
What is the long-term implications? I mean, is it gonna wear out equipment faster than it would have?
Well, no, if you take some time to come down to the wastewater plant, I'd be more than happy to show you.
Okay.
We're putting it in after the influence screen, so this grease is not going through the influence screen, so we won't have to worry about plugging that up. Everything down there operates with air. It's just big concrete chambers, and there's air, and the grease is mostly up top. There's nothing else mechanical in the plant, except for the air, which is 20 foot down.
So basically, the bacteria that we're introducing is eating the fat, and what's not being eaten, we're straining off and throwing in a dumpster.
Yes, we're attempting to get as much out as possible, yes.
Okay, so is there stuff that can get missed that can go down the line in the system and muck things up?
Well, there's really not a system after that. It's a pipe going out to the creek.
Okay.
But again, the way the plant works, and I could explain this better if we were standing there, but
Right.
the water passes through the first 2 chambers up high, but then from there everything is 20 foot down. There's like 2 by 2 holes cut, and the water passes through there, so that fat that's sitting up top would have to become unbuoyant, go down to pass through.
Okay.
And then if it does make it to the clarifier, which is the last step, we have I think there's 20 or 30 skimmers that will be skimming it off and kicking it back into aeration, where then the bugs would again be able to work on it.
Okay. I'm just concerned that they're bringing this from Moberly. Where were they dumping it before, and why did that?
Okay, so this started pretty abruptly when they were discharging this to the sewer system of Moberly, and it plugged up, I believe, an 18-inch line, about 1,500 foot. So they have to replace that line, and these are all numbers I've heard from the trucking company. I haven't heard, so I'm not 100% sure on that.
So
But
they were dumping it and didn't tell them.
no, they knew they were dumping it. It's just, you can't dump fat down.
So you
a
can't
sewer.
dump fat down a drain anyway.
Right, so somewhere along the lines, somebody missed that. But anyway, they've been taking it to Moscow Mills. And there was a new mayor that came in and they're like, oh, no, you can't bring that here anymore. Well, all of a sudden they realized how much revenue they were missing. But in the meantime, they started reaching out, and we're closer than Moscow Mills. So, I mean, they're wanting to bring us 20 or 30 loads a day, and we can't handle that.
Mm-hmm.
They are looking at putting in another process, which is going to strain much more of the grease off. At that point, yes, we may be able to take more loads. But I am not going to let your wastewater plant go into violation over this. You know, it's not, you know, the additional money is not helping, you know, it's not, I don't want to say that, sounds bad. Yes, you guys are making additional money. Really, it's a little bit more work on us, sometimes a lot more work on us, but we're not getting any really benefit for it. But yet I am wanting to continue doing this so that the city can then fund their wastewater facility.
Right.
We are going to make this work, and if it doesn't work, well, we'll cut from 3 loads a day to 2 loads a day, or something, anything that we can. We're a pressure valve, or a pressure relief valve. Let them keep bringing it. If we have a problem, we'll just close that valve a little bit. And if it's working, if the bacteria is working in the weather that we're having right now, once it warms up, we might be able to take more, because the bacteria is going to work much better.
I promise you, I was very critical, was I not? And I held his
As
feet
always.
to the fire on this, because I wanted to make sure that the pie in the sky, glow, warm, fuzzy feeling wasn't going to be followed by something else that I didn't want. They did their testing, they sent out, they got good data, good results back. On the low side, we're looking at 150 to 175K of additional revenue into what we will classify as sewer collection. And we'll take that from almost a net loser to at least positive for the balance of our 2025, 24-25 budget. And if it continues, we're going to be reviewing sewer. It's got done doing about halfway through natural gas, looking at it. But we got to review sewer and understand what it looks like, both on the collection network, the plant itself, as well as depreciation, ongoing maintenance expectations. And unlike what has been done historically, and this is not a slam, people, it's just a realization of what happened. Back in 2000, somewhere between 2004 and 2010, the board voted to increase sewer rates, and the increase was supposed to go into a separate fund. That fund was supposed to generate interest revenue and be utilized at some point in time to replace the wastewater treatment facility. Well, as we all know, when you don't have continuity in government and there's no entity in City Hall that's there for the long haul, the best laid plans of mice and men fall by the wayside. So approximately, I don't know how many daggone years later it was, 15, 20 years later, we had to go out and borrow $12 or $13 million to do what we said we was going to do back in, I can remember 2006, 2008. If we followed through those plans back then, we wouldn't have near the $697,000 a year debt we've got right now. So what have we learned from that? Well, what we ought to learn is don't do that again. And if you can find a way if you can find a way to have reasonable rates for utility services and build a reserve to handle unexpected issues and or normal replacement and upgrading of your facilities, maybe 20 years from now, some other board will want to sit here and wrestle borrowing what will then be $20 or $30 million. So if this helps us build a reserve, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, wastewater typically does not generate a lot of income.
It does not. So,
Probably one of the poorest enterprises.
How do we decide the rates that we're charging
For
For them
these
dumping
trucks?
this.
we were told what they were willing to offer, and.
I tried to get more.
Yep,
I'm just asking.
I went
like,
after him, I
wanna
said,
make sure.
okay, so you're saying 10 cents a gallon? My mayor really wants, 11 or 12, look, we're shortening your load, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
said that.
We're
it's
doing
10
we're
cents a
doing you a
gallon,
big
whoever
favor.
wants it, and Louisiana is chomping at the bit to take it also, so.
So we're in bidding war for it.
It's not really bidding war, they said that's what they're gonna pay. They're not gonna pay less, they're not gonna pay more, they're gonna pay 10 cents a gallon. And so, yeah, and with us only be able to take, I mean, I know 15,000 or 16,000 gallons a day is still quite a bit, but yet it's not, they're running 30
It sounds
loads.
like that you've looked at the numbers already, and it's more than paying for any increased
Yes.
cost. And at 10 cents a gallon, it also would be covering more than, you might say, the equivalent share of waste than like sewer rates and stuff. And I'm just
Yes.
curious, like, how that number was arrived.
Right, and yeah, it's not, they're supplying the pumping to get it into the plant because I did not want to use our pump.
Yeah,
We basically, they come in, they dump it into our contained, what do you
their
call that
lines,
thing?
their pumps.
Yeah, their lines,
So there's
they
no-
have
none
a
of our
3-inch.
lines.
They do it all. They
Yeah.
they unload it. They drive in, they back up, they unload, they put it in, they leave.
Yep.
I would have thought that would have been pushed out to some sort of animal feed or something.
But like I said, there's only roughly 5% fat in there. Yeah, they're able to collect the 95% that goes to a rendering plant, and they're hoping to be able to get the other 5% or majority of the other 5% out, because I guess there's quite a bit of money in that to be able
Yeah.
to get it somewhere. They just gotta get it out, and they're working on it.
Is Danes okay with picking up a load of that?
Yeah,
They can dump it
they're
without a
taking
problem.
our screenings, so anything that comes into the wastewater plant that is pulled out by our influent screen goes right into the same dumpster. Grease is much better than the other stuff that's in there.
I was thinking we had to send that to Bowling Green or something with a special liner and.
No, that is the pressed sludge
That's right.
that we send all
That's
there.
right, okay.
And we are actually right now putting some of this fat in with the pressed sludge, because that's the only place we have to go with it.
Right.
Is that because of Danes?
No, that is through
It's because
Meridian
Danes
Waste.
is
Oh, it's
taking it.
because of Danes, yes, why we're putting it in there.
Yeah,
But
because of Danes.
Mhm.
If you need to get us involved, we'd be glad to
no,
call and talk to
I
them.
took care of it,
All right.
but they would not send a truck back out here to pick it up on until next week.
They're in town tomorrow.
That's what she did say. They were in town tomorrow. I said, well, send them on over, and she
I can
called
hold
back.
back my garbage can.
You
so
just
they
need to
can
let
go
Robin call them and talk to them.
Well, let's see what happens after next Tuesday. If we have any other issues, I will
All right.
let you get involved. Otherwise, I got this taken care of.
Thank you very much,
I got
George,
one
for your
question.
report.
What's
Yeah.
this? Is this the just preventive maintenance schedule?
Yeah,
See
them were all of our work orders that we did last month.
Okay.
And there's a list of them in a list every month in there, whether it's monthly, quarterly, biannual, or annual.
And it's just preventive maintenance. You go check on these lift
It's
stations.
it's preventative as well as just normal
Okay.
O&M. So
I seen it before, but I forgot to ask you what it was.
Mhm.
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is electric. I'm gonna touch on that briefly, if that's possible. We got the, I guess you'd call it, job description and bid out for the journeyman electrician. It was put out there on Indeed. I'm not sure where else it's been put. MQA's bulletin board,
Yes.
and then run in one of the papers maybe.
We give it to Nick in paper.
They never sent us any information or.
We can't reach anybody at Macon. We were gonna go that area.
You wanna go to Hannibal?
We can.
Do Hannibal.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Can we just, if we have the ad, can we just email it to them? Monroe City, that is, news, let's do that. There was no we in this. job description for the electric department supervisor draft was completed today. I sent it to our senior member from the Missouri Public Utility Association to review. He got back and said he thought it was well written and covered all the bases. So I guess that's either an A or an A minus. I don't know, but anyway, we're gonna go with that. We'll get that put into the papers. Get it on the bulletin board. Try to get the word out, and hopefully we'll be able to get someone that's got a few years of experience and that has some supervisory experience and project planning experience and knowledge to lead, guide, and supervise this department, because it's become increasingly, I personally have become increasingly aware of some of the complexities associated with that. There's a lot more to it than meets the eye, trust me. Next thing on the list is gas. I don't think we got anything on gas, do we? Street.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if Rodney comes up here and complains to the board that I have been harassing him, I want you to tell you it is true.
I take care of myself. Oh, I got an earful.
I have given him a nickname. What's that?
I said I got an earful.
Oh, I
No,
bet you
no,
did.
I'm teasing.
Oh,
Bag lunch.
No.
I apologize, Rodney. I just can't help it, because every time I see him, that here's Rodney Spindle-Lot Osborne.
Yeah, that's me. Use that MoDOT budget.
No, he did it
Never
But
Never
he thinks we're the state.
Yeah, there you go.
It takes some zeros off.
Yeah. The only thing I was gonna bring up is, I know money's tight, so just be thinking about, we're gonna have a stump grinder one of these days. We cut a lot of trees in the past few years and more to go. It's pretty expensive. I know Danetta was gonna look on a state bid to see where, you can get it. But the alternative is, we got no skid steer down there to bring quite a bit of money to help offset that, if you're thinking of that. And a couple of pickups if you need to go. I don't know. And the skid steer down there, it's got the old stump grinder, it's shot, and it's got a loader bucket. And I'm thinking at one time on a trade, it was offered several thousand. So that's
Would we
just,
be better off buying another attachment grinder for the skid steer we
the
have?
new skid steer we have.
Oh, we have a new one.
Yeah,
We're not
well,
using the
it's a
old one.
14, it's a lot safer. See,
A lot of new words.
So we have two skid steers.
you got two, you got an O2 and you
And a
got this
14.
14.
Okay, I
Well,
got
the
you.
O2 had the grinder, but the
Okay.
O2, you had to take the door off because the handles come in and the operator's sitting there with no protection.
Ooh,
And Raymond grounded a lot of stumps. But this new one's got the door and hopefully you can control it from right here.
well, we don't have the attachment.
But we don't have the attachment. We got the skid steer, but we do not have the attachment.
And that attachment runs.
I'm gonna say 15,000.
That's what we've got budgeted.
It's in our capital budget,
I haven't got it in front of me. I'm going off memory, but that sounds
Okay,
correct.
I just was,
But since we're doing the park, the grant, but on that stump, I'm planning on taking the backhoe and digging it up, cause you gotta go down 6 inches.
Anyway,
But you still might need that.
yeah, I can see that. I tell you what, why don't we go ahead and unless someone has an objection, go ahead and get all the information together on potential sources and cost estimates. And so, just to be clear, are we talking about a stump grinder attachment to go on a skid steer?
Yes.
I was under the impression it was a pull-behind separate unit that run off PTO.
Now, back in the 80s when I worked here, that's what you had. It had its own motor and it was pulled behind.
That's fine.
That's been gone. This
That's
here
fine.
goes on the front, just like a bucket on a skid steer.
Okay.
And anyway, grind it.
Well,
Yeah,
let's get some
PTO.
quotes. Let's get some quotes. We need 3 quotes. We can get 3 quotes, 3 competitive quotes.
although if you get state.
If you get
if
state,
you
State,
get
you don't
state,
have to.
because they've already taken care of
Get
the
state
bidding.
bid, you don't have to get quotes.
Oh, cool. Good.
That's why we were working on that.
But
Awesome.
anyway, I got the skid steer, some attachments, a couple of pickups. I think that'll help too.
And I've asked Rodney too, to get, an itemized list of equipment that they don't utilize that we could put out for bid to try and sell, recoup some money. And so he's working on that too.
And you need to get rid of some of that stuff,
That's right.
maintenance.
And we've
Killer.
got,
It is.
The
we've got at
oil,
least-
filters, breakdowns.
we got at least one-ton truck that's, I don't know what's holding it together, but it needs to be replaced.
It does, it's a 99.
And it's one of our snowplow,
Yeah.
Piece of equipment, which
Got
is
the
very, very
V-belts,
important.
snowplow. I mean, it's a 99, so you're looking, you're pushing 30 years, 25 to 30 years. And
You get classic plates on it now.
well, yeah, I noticed one about ready to fall off. But anyway, you got the old brush truck down there, and just stuff that's, should have been rotated out.
When you get that list all put together, we're gonna give the same challenge to the electric department, the same challenge to the gas department. I don't
George,
think he's
right
got anything.
Yes. That old
Yeah, the old,
manure spreader, yeah.
Okay, we'll have this discussion at another time.
But anyway, that's all I.
All right, thank you, Rodney.
On that
Thank you.
LTAP thing, they extended the deadline to February 15th because they didn't have enough people sign up.
That's
So
good.
hopefully, and Linda told me that they did get our application in, so it shouldn't be too long, because it's a pretty small group. So
Good.
hopefully we'll
That was
know
several
something
$1,000.
soon.
I like free stuff.
Signs right
Yeah.
there.
Pretty good.
Definitely, and training.
And drink, yeah.
That's a good deal, that's a good
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, good finding that.
Definitely.
Thank you, Rodney, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Building inspector Bob's not here.
I didn't see a report from him.
He had one last.
He had a
Okay.
pretty extensive one
Yeah,
last
very
time.
extensive. I was
Pretty
surprised.
extensive one last time. He did go over and do some inspection work, got some photographs that I sent to the Parks and Recreation Committee showing the condition of several different areas on the St. Jude's Church, including the bell tower. There's some cut pointing and masonry work that needs to be done up there as soon as we can get it approved and done.
Can we do that ourselves? Can we do the tuck pointing ourselves?
I don't have a clue.
I would suggest that.
I don't.
I don't think we have anybody.
Yeah, I don't know we would have anyone involved.
I guess, no. Airport,
Rodney can do it.
Rodney can do anything.
Aren't you glad you don't have a
Alex
big
called me
airport?
the other day and wanted to know about this plaque that I requested for the airport for Captain Ben Smith. I didn't know exactly what we wanted, so I reached out to Dennis Spalding. He's friends with Ben's widow,
Mhm.
and I'd like for her to write up what she wants on the plaque,
Perfect.
the way she wants it, and I haven't heard back.
Okay,
That's
well,
a good idea.
So,
He's in Florida, Dennis, he doesn't hear about us right now.
Yeah.
So Dennis is in Florida right now, so he didn't.
right, well, he got back to me, and he said he would get hold of it, so. And then, I got an email that you said that Ryan had never sent you the form.
No,
Have you,
never got anything.
haven't heard back from him?
oh, I hope he didn't send it to me.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he didn't send it to me.
I think he did,
I
Ron.
don't-
You're a fun old
I don't know
boy.
where he sent it, I'll get ahold of him
All
tomorrow
right.
and find out. Nothing else, just the city's been taking good care of the snow and everything's just been pretty slow out there this time of the year. We're doing
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, we don't need to be on the national news.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't laid any planes upside down, so.
But you know, that speaks to how strong those seats are.
That was a
We
miracle.
got, we did get light bulbs on
I know
order
they
for
got
the
it.
spotlights.
Yeah, that rotating beacon, it's got the old, just regular incandescent light bulbs in it,
Yeah.
and it heats.
We'll have halogen in it this time. That's a step up. I couldn't find LEDs. They had the same lumens. You have to have about 35 to 45 watts. It doesn't matter. They're not out there.
Well, we rebuilt that beacon a couple different
Have
times.
you?
I took it apart and put new brushes in it, and another time the city helped me do it, the electric department.
Well,
Those beacons are expensive, but hopefully, if we get Ryan on board and we can start getting some federal money, then
Maybe I get some money for that.
they have money just
yeah,
for
that'd be
that
nice.
type of stuff.
That'd be very nice. All right. Very good. Thank you for all you do, Dale.
All right.
Thanks, Dale.
Mosswood, nothing. Pool. We have any update on the pool?
We haven't gotten any response, any activity at all on the pool
I've
manager.
got to start writing stuff down. Someone gave me a teacher's name. Who, Jessica Bay Miller? Is she gonna bid on it?
I don't know, but she was the one that Amy said was interested.
She's a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Bay Miller.
Want me to reach out to her?
Well, the rate of pay, I think, is probably what is stopping anyone.
What are we paying? I don't know what we offer.
What, and I know I'm supposed to know, but what's the rate of pay?
15 an hour.
No, I ain't gonna fly.
Yeah,
His minimum wage is 13.
We're gonna require them to have certain training and go somewhere to do this training and.
What do you think? Do we need to contact other municipalities and find out what they pay?
We could reach out to Shelbina. I think they have a manager there that also goes through the same training.
Vandalia maybe? Vandalia maybe?
We could see if they, yeah, because they're Myrna also.
Hannibal's Monroe also, and they got pools.
Okay, so we're gonna have to reach out and find out what these look like.
Don't you wanna take over the pool, Sid? You big pool keeper.
You'd be pool manager.
Yeah, Sid. All you do is put on some sunglasses, get an
You managed the
umbrella.
one over at Quincy for a while, didn't you?
Yeah,
See?
Hey, he's got experience.
He's never come to a meeting again.
It's a good
Something
idea.
tells me we can't afford Sid, but I could be wrong.
Not this year.
Not this year.
All right,
It's
we'll
open
reach out.
position.
We'll reach out and get some salary compensation studies and get back with you guys.
Time's getting close. It's almost March.
Now we don't want to delay too much. We gotta get somebody in there.
It's almost March.
How about this? We'll get the data put together as quickly as possible. We'll send you guys an email and let you know what's going on. And all you gotta do is send us back your thoughts
Respond, right?
and respond. And then I guess I'll take whatever y'all send me back and use my executive authority to make a decision and move forward.
Sounds good.
You heard that, didn't you? He said, sounds good.
Sounds
Okay.
good. I trust you.
I can manage the pool since I've had such a great seat.
I bet you look good.
Yeah, I would, wouldn't I?
Yeah. All right, moving right along. Next on the agenda, item number 12 will be presentation of bills and approval of payments. I apologize, it's under tab 12.
Our MPUA payment is $245,000 for electric,
Yes, sirree.
and we already had to pay that.
Yes, sirree. We did.
I've looked at our past ones, that's pretty standard, isn't it?
It's not abnormal, abnormally high.
No, but
I did respond to KHQA and WGEM with a written response. WGEM thought it was a very appropriate response. Monroe City, Lake Gazette run an article utilizing the information that we provided to them. They did a good job of stating the facts.
What are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know.
Utility rates.
Utility
Oh.
rates.
I don't, yeah, I didn't
Yep.
watch any.
Apologize. Utility rates. So.
I did a major extensive, deep dive into compared mine, all this stuff, and we're not, I mean,
we're
No.
our water.
Did you read the
Not our
article?
electric. No,
I
I'm
don't.
not seeing
I don't
that.
know if they include everything I gave them because we were, I don't know, 1.48 maybe 1.49 per kilowatt hour on electric for that period.
14.
Yeah, that's it. You know, per kilowatt
Our
hour.
electric rate is very
And-
comparable, it's our,
Yeah, Rawls Electric was
Because we
15
have that
something.
debt service.
yeah, it's because.
Oh, Raw's base fee is like 45.
Well, you know, their base rate is 47.30.
Yeah, it's the highest in the state.
Rawls is.
Mm-hmm.
Ours is 23.
23.
Yeah.
I've had people,
It's interesting, I mean,
Rawls, theirs doesn't include any usage either.
No, it doesn't.
well, you know, we're as competitive as we possibly can be. And
Yeah,
that's all there is to it.
We're stopped losing money on that, so
Yeah,
that was,
it's
yeah.
helpful. All right, I'd entertain a motion.
I don't see anything. I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable as presented.
We have a motion on the floor to approve February 2025 accounts payable. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion second on the floor to approve bills payable. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All say no. Motion carries.
Jeanette, thank you in advance for making this very concise each month.
Yes.
The what?
The bills,
Making it
thank you for making it
concise.
concise each month.
Oh, yeah.
All right, any unfinished business? Do we have a closed session
We
tonight?
don't, this was resolved, there was something planned, but it has been resolved. We reached out to John and he's going to be looking into it, so.
Awesome.
OMG, look at time.
Well, so,
Wow.
Do not drag this
One
out.
hour.
well, in 3 minutes. We'll do better next time. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Woo-hoo.
The ayes have
Look
it.
at this progress we're making.